This is the Bar Steward's Enquiry.
You're talking absolute rubbish. Absolute rubbish.
In what way?
You were an underachiever in life. I saved your bacon one time. You were gone.
You handled that well. I couldn't save you. But you did the right thing.
Well, that's why you don't know anything about racing, John.
I didn't say I do.
Right?
I'm saying that...
What have you contributed to racing? You're one of these take-out merchants. Take out all you can.
And a very warm welcome to the Bar Stewards Enquiry St. Ledger Weekend podcast, where we've got an absolutely bonanza of racing this weekend from Paris, the Arc Trials. We've got Ireland over 2 days, Leopardstown and the Curragh, amazing meetings, and of course the St. Ledger meeting at Doncaster to finish the week off. And tonight we've got a fabulous panel of guests, better than the rotten lot on Tuesday, tipping loads of rubbish. Mainly me and John, to be fair. But so John's with me tonight as always. And with me also tonight is Nick Davis.
Good evening.
Good evening, Nick. Zilzal89 on Twitter. If you're not au fait with Nick, there's plenty that know Nick on Twitter. He's a very experienced racing gentleman, and he's a good judge as well. And he's here tonight. And with me also tonight, and a pleasure, or is it a pleasure, to announce the Ginger Hitler, Christopher. Good evening.
Good evening, guys.
Yeah, evening. Nice to have you back. When was the last time you were on?
Derby, I think, mate.
Derby. So literally, you are a classic man. You're a Guineas, Derby, St. Ledger. This is your triple crown. I hope you're going to advise our punters in the right direction for the final classic. Let's hope so. John, any good this week apart from some rubbish bets like that I put out as well?
It's a little chicken for me too.
And it's soup for me, definitely. Some poor tips on Tuesday from me and John, but it's the way it is. Right, we'll start the show off quickly because it's a very busy show, and we're just going to take in a few questions. If your question doesn't get asked this evening, I'll make sure I fit them in on Sunday. It's just the fact that time is preceding us. First question, and it's a Ledger related question, and it comes from Mark Killer. And he says, have the lads fitted a new engine to high definition or something? Other than his Dante run, he wouldn't have won a 0 to 100 on any of the run in his life. 50,000 sovereigns supplemented, and he's 7 to 1, third in. And basically, he can't have it at any price. Thoughts on high definition, chaps? Who wants to come in first? John?
Well, if you'd offered me that price for high definition at the start of the season about him winning the Ledger, they'd probably snapped your hand off. But there's been a fair bit of water under the bridge since then, hasn't there?
Yeah, for sure.
It's flowing in the wrong direction. I mean, the last run at York was beyond disgusting, really, wasn't it? I mean, you just could not back him in a St. Ledger on the basis of that. It was awful. So unless the lads have got knowledge of something that we haven't, which is highly likely.
Not tonight.
The likes of us can't back it.
No. I mean, Nick, do you think, could it be ground? Could it be high definition once a bog? He's not really had. I mean, when he was very impressive in Ireland last year, it was there's plenty of dig in there. I don't think he's had dig this season, has he?
No, I've got quite strong views on the race. I might stick him in as a forecast to beat my other one, just in case. I always thought, even when everyone was raving about him, he took an awful long time to get going at the Curragh last year when he finally mowed it down in a few strides. He takes a long time to get organised. This might, if I read him a bit like Kew Gardens as a 2-year-old. So this, if they've got him right and things work, they paid 50 grand. I know it's much in their pocket, but I might stick him as a forecast just to beat my one, just in case.
Yeah, Ginge, what are you thinking in high definition? Have you wrote him off?
I thought it was very much overrated last year, and I know John said it was one of his horses to follow. I never agreed with him. It beat Trees last year, to be fair, and it took ages to beat him. It beat Trees. I couldn't have it for any price, to be honest. The same as you.
He stuck it into you, John. There, hasn't he? He stuck it right in.
I like digging with his hands.
So yeah, that's the opinion mark on high definition. I'm just thinking if there is dig, I'd like to see him with a lot of dig in the ground at some stage, and I'd be chucking a few shekels on him if yeah. yeah, something like that. But yeah, there's certainly he's not got the ability on quick ground, certainly over a mile and a quarter and a mile and a half to cope with the good horses. But yeah, anyway. Right, next question comes from Jack, JCC punter. He's a good follower on Twitter, and he said, this is a good question actually. He says, should there be more sanctions for trainers leaving horses in late and pulling them out with the going excuse? He says Alan King's been at it all season. The Frenchman David Menezia the same. Is it bad for the sport? And what do we think on trainers doing this? Nick, I'll come to you first.
Well, the trouble is they all won't admit it, but they all don't trust the going descriptions a lot of the time. Especially if there's a little bit of rain forecast and they say it's all good to firm, good in places. A bit of rain come down, so this is the consequence of the watering policy we've got, that we do get these trainers pulling ones out because the ground's not as prescribed. This is the consequence.
Yeah, no, I agree wholeheartedly. John?
You can't penalise trainers for taking a horse out for an unsurplus surface. It's all right, play all about like King taking Choshan out. If you're impartial, yeah, you want it to see it race against Stradivarius. If you want to bet, you don't want it running on ground that's not going to help it.
Yeah.
You know.
I get this, but surely you kind of know the tracks that do it. You can't. Surely trainers aren't daft. They take their horses there many times throughout a season. You know the tracks that are guilty for it, and you know the tracks that might shove plenty on, or maybe not to the case. Like they have a lesser watering policy, if you like. So I think in a way I agree with Jack that I think in fairness, it's like the Trushan farce, if you like. It's always let's see, let's withdraw late, etc. But is it are trainers being too namby-pamby? Do or are they in their rights to think, well, we've got to look after the horse? Is that where we're at, John?
Well, if you think they're going to get stuffed, there's no point running, is there?
well, it depends if you've got an Indian bookie on the end of the line.
If you're declared and there's storms forecast and that's going to suit you and they don't materialise, you've got your horse cherry ripe. What do? You just yard him up or you save him for another day. Your owner's not going to be pleased if you just say, fuck it, we'll run him. And comes back.
I suppose the polar opposite argument to that, to my point, is you were surprised as well as I was. David Menezia ran wonderful tonight at York on rattling quick, and it's now retired. It's finished. So yeah, it's been announced today that Wonderful Tonight is no longer going to be racing. So did David Menezia run that on ground he shouldn't have? And should I can remember you, John, on the day you said, "What is the point of this?"
Yeah.
So it's like you say, you get castigated for not running, but then he did run, and that's it. That's the end of the horse's racing career. So there's no ARC bid. There's nothing for Wonderful Tonight, sadly. So it's a contentious topic. From a punting point of view, I get Jack's side of it, but also you've got to understand also certain horses just haven't got the legs, haven't got the just can't go on certain types of ground, and that's the way it is. Trushan, back it in the Cadran, Jack. Get on Trushan to win the Prix de Cadran at 7-2. Start lumping on now. Lump on. You'll get your ground there, Jack. Yeah, good question. The questions that I've missed out at the start of the show, there have been a few, and I do appreciate them on Twitter. It's just that obviously we've got a limited time, so not going to ask any further questions until Sunday on the sermon, when me, John, and Lorne Malvo will be back to discuss the week's topics. We'll get on to the selections now, and hopefully we can perform better than we have this week. And we start off, gentlemen, with the Portland Handicap at Doncaster in the 145, 5.5 furlongs. A great handicap. They've always loved this handicap. Hurricane Ivor heads the markets at around 13-2. I'm going to start with you, Nick, on this. It's a race I know you like, so fire away.
Well, my first two that I originally thought for this, Just Frank and Ostilio, are not there. A little bit of rain now. Andy made a good point on Tuesday about the draw 14 and over. You think that, well, this is probably a little bit of rain they've had, and 5.5 furlong stretch. It might just stretch it a tiny bit. I'm going to come off with the old boy that's done me up earlier this summer, Venturous. I thought this was the target. And then the thing went at Bastard 33-1 when everything stopped in front at York.
Yeah, that's right.
He's got a draw near the thing. If he doesn't lose, I don't want him losing 3 lengths at this of a 5.5 furlongs. If he comes out last, that's all right, but just not detached. And I'm just hoping he weave his way through on the near side. But I think a lot of fancy ones are drawn low, and we will see what happens. But Andy's stat was very, very sort of damning on 14 and under.
And if you look also today, Nick, there seemed to be I'm not saying it was a big bias, but it didn't hurt to be drawn, middle to stands in the straight course races today.
Yeah, I did. I saw that. It didn't hurt at all, no.
Yeah. So Andy's could have some credence there. So Nick's going for one shrewdly. Venturous. He upset him on the 24th of July. Might not upset him tomorrow from trap 16 at the 20-1 available. Connor Beasley on board is Nick's selection in the Portland. Ginge, I'll come to you for your selection in the Portland.
Well, I just realised I've gone for one that's drawn under 14, mate, so I might as well wrap in.
Come on, put everybody away. You love it.
I fancy just another bottle because it's in the form of its life and it's been running some cracking races lately. I think it'll be hard to keep out the frame. But I know John said it's a proper hold-up track, Doncaster, but it doesn't seem to be working that way this week, I don't think.
No, it is suiting pace. But then with the rain that we've had a little bit of rain, and
not much, though, is there? Have you had plenty over there?
Well, we're teetering on sort of good ground, that kind of thing. Maybe even slow side are good. I think it depends what happens tonight. There might be a few showers, but I mean, just another bottle's in, like you say, it's in cracking form. 2 cracking runs really. Wins the St Wilfrid, and second to Tis Marvellous. Again, it's really solid form. Can't really knock it. Really, I'd like to knock it, but can't really knock it apart from the draw. John, I'm coming to you. So just another bottle for the Hitler. In the Portland. John, your selection in the Portland.
Obviously, I'm in the same boat as Nicholas, where Ostilio is concerned. I'm still desperately upset with Paul for not running in this. But if you cast your mind back to York in August, there's also an here called When the Deal Is Done, who went to York, went to York with what a lot of people thought was a pretty good, solid favourites chance. And for one reason or another, he maybe didn't get the best of runs. But for me, earlier in the week, he was priced as though he did the sailing at Goodwood the time before. And I didn't think he had. So I think this trip will suit, the track will suit. and I think this is a fairly sporting poke. He's not quite drawn high enough, but I'll give him a well, I think.
And I'm in agreement with John. I had a really good bet on when the deal is done at York. He was drawn on the wrong side. It was clearly not the side to be. And I don't think William Buick was that hard on him when he knew he couldn't win. Typical kind of Godolphin jockey, etc. When they know they can't win or be involved, they don't tend to bother. And so whenever you see them in the closing stage and not finishing with much gusto, I think that's more down to the pilot that's decided, he can't be bothered. But I think there's more to come, because on good, where I did see a lot, I saw a lot there. We've seen Roger Teal with Oxted, and we've seen how we can get these horses to improve. This is a very young horse, and I did feel that had a lot of improvement to come. And trap 13 looks favourable today. The no excuse kind of draw. So I thought that was, I'm with John on that one when the deal is done. So those are the Portland selections. We move on now to the Champagne Stakes, which is the 7 furlong Group 2 affair. And what looks to be a very strong favourite is the John and Slim trained horse, Reach for the Moon, at Wrist On, 4 to 5, Reach for the Moon. John, I'll start with you.
I think it's really sad, this race, to be honest, because at the start of the week I thought this was looking like being the nicest bunch of 2-year-olds to race against each other all season. The field absolutely collapsed. There were some nice horses entered in this, and I thought it would be a really instructive race. As things stand, I think Grady Betty's horse should have enough at the end of the gym track winner to win this, really. I don't really want Lucille to win anyway, because I think the gym track form was fairly exposed shit. And I think the one with potential is probably Grady Betty's.
Yeah. Reach for the Moon for John. Chris, do we agree with that?
I agree with John there, yeah. I think it looks a very good horse. When it got beat at, was it Ascot by the Point Lonsdale?
Mm-hmm.
I think they're the two best 2-year-old colts we've seen in this country this year, I think, so far. Probably the best form on offer.
Yeah.
That's fun. Stick it in your multis.
Yeah, 4 to 5, Reach for the Moon. We're going all blogger here in the Champagne. Nick, can you offer an alternative opinion, or are we all on Reach?
It's pate and toast, and just watch. It's a 2-year-old race. Pate and toast, mate.
All right.
Disappointed is Nick. I mean, he said pate and toast. It's gin, or get some lubricant down you at that point. Castrol GTX at that point. Anything.
Not in the afternoon. I can't do that in the afternoon these days. You asleep by 5.
Yeah, so we're all alcoholics up here. It's grim up north. But yes, no, I'm in agreement. Reach for the Moon. I can't believe I'm agreeing with Chris with the ginge. I mean, I ain't agreeing with him, and he's right. The best 2-year-olds, this season we've seen are Point Lonsdale and Reach for the Moon. He's spot on. There is no doubt in that. And 4 to 5. I've probably seen worse 4 to 5 pokes than this, without going overboard. But it's a shame that, like John says, it's cut up. So we'll move on. We'll go to the 3 o'clock, another small field, 6-runner affair, the Park Stakes. Group 2 affair over 7 furlongs, usually won by a good horse, this, in history. And Lanquash heads the field at 7 to 4. I'll start this one off. To change it up, and I feel the market is really accurate on this. I tried to pick the bones out of it, and it's like literally is exactly how I would have priced it. You've got Lanquash at 7 to 4, Danyar at 11 to 4, Glorious Journey at 3 to 1. It literally is. Yeah, there's probably 3/4 of a length between these. Tops literally at the best. Lanquash, I know for a fact, needed it a little. On reappearance, that's why it went off a big price. Maybe that's got the most improvement. Maybe that could step forward. 3-year-old Indian Jim in the saddle if he's recovered from his obviously the terrible incident the other day. But again, they've made it favourite. So for me, I'm going to abstain really because I can't make a selection if there's no value. So, Christopher, I'll come to you first. What's your selection in the Park Stakes?
I agree with you. I don't think there's much between them at all. So in that position, I would go with the one that was the biggest price, which is Glorious Journey out of the three. No, it's not world beater, but it always tends to run its race, doesn't it?
That's a straight 7. Yeah.
And it seems to be in form. It's won and come third, I think, the last twice.
Yeah, no, it is. It's in good art. Like you say, it's a real tough one. This at the prices. The books have got this exactly right. Nick, did you see anything in this that took you off?
Well, I'm a bit in disagreement with you lads.
Ooh,
I think the books may have got it wrong. Right then, we're going to Lanquash. Right, he may have needed a race a little bit. He got a dream setup in the Hungerford behind Sacred. With all of them went off at a tremendous pace, and now you're basing his price on that run where nothing that was up there in the early stages had a chance with that pace they went. So you basically say Sacred and Lanquash just came through the field, and it's not going to be like that. Tomorrow's race is not going to be like that at all. If you look at his 2-year-old form. Was it overrated between you and Mandate One Ruler?
Yeah.
They haven't done much as a thing. I mean, it was a decent run in Hungerford, but don't get me wrong, everything suited a hold up ride in that race. Yes. I would say that Danny R from the front here could control things. Brings up handicap form, but it's kept on improving in handicaps. And it may just pinch first run on these if nothing takes it on.
Interesting. So Daniel for Nick, he thinks that's out of the front three standout. Makes a good point about Lanquash, the 2-year-old form, which maybe hasn't stood up to scrutiny, and he feels that Lanquash definitely had a nice trip for his reappearance. John, do you agree with Nick on this?
I do actually.
Ooh.
I think Lancash is a candidate to bounce here.
Okay.
Physically, I actually tipped Lancash last time in the.
You did.
And when I saw him, I thought he looked as though there was a fair bit of improvement in him. I was surprised he ran as well as he did. I thought that was a fairly gut-busting effort in the circumstances, considering the shape I perceived him to be. So I'd be avoiding him tomorrow, and I'll be having a sporting little bit on Danya because I think Glorious Journey's getting a little bit twatty.
I love that phrase, getting a bit twatty. To be fair to Glorious Journey, I backed him earlier in the year. I think that horse just loves Newmarket and the Doyler and just blasting off. It was quite impressive at Newmarket earlier in the year when it beat. I mean, it beat Motta KL, which obviously then won the Bunbury.
It takes a bit of it in Newmarket, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think there's a Newmarket thing going on with Glorious Journey. Maybe because that's where he works, and he can't be arsed when Horsebox comes out and he goes, I can't be arsed with this. But yeah, so it's an interesting thought process here. Danyar for John and Nick, quite interesting that you two, quite respect your opinion there. And me and Ginge, we're just maybe sitting that one out, maybe. Right, we'll move on now to the St. Ledger. The final classic of the season, and on the drift, amazingly on the drift. Is this because Billy Bunters can't work out the true price of a horse? As soon as it gets below a certain price, they can't work it out. They don't know what's value and not. Hurricane Lane, 10 to 11. Tips on. I mean, this could be serious value at this price. I mean, I know what price I've got it. Well, I'll get on to my thoughts in a bit, but I'm going to start with you, John, on the St. Ledger to see if you've got anything maybe it's a price, or maybe you're a Hurricane Lane fan.
Well, I think I've gone on long enough about Aidan O'Brien's potential tactics in cases of this ilk, and people are quite familiar with what I'd be saying on that. What I will say on the Ledger is I cannot believe the price of the favourite. I think this is absolutely ridiculous, and I cannot understand it. I'd be saying lump on, but in the back of my mind is the Great Voltiger, where this crew had the favourites for that, and we had a drift, and the crowds keep going in. They're not robbing us, and they did rob us because he got stuffed, and it's concerning, I think, from this crew, but he's getting very backable, isn't he?
It's. I mean, my take on the race is that if you can just put it in layman's terms, and you say there's 10 St. Ledgers, this is going to be run 10 times. How many out of 10 would Hurricane Lane win out of 10? So was that 8? Was that 8, Chris?
8, mate. Yeah, it's a certainty.
8. Yeah. Four's on. We have it there. From the German himself, this is Vorsprung Dork technique. This is 1 to 4. You've heard it here first on Barsters. He doesn't mess about in classics. If he's got a view, he'll say it. 1 to 4 says the Ginge. And I mean, I'm not quite in that camp, but basically the current price says he's going to win 5.2 races out of 10, or 5.2 ledgers out of 10. Now I'm saying that's sort of somewhere between 6 and 7 St. Ledgers. I'm saying Hurricane Lane would win. So you can see that's how you work out value at short prices. So for me, Hurricane Lane, like John says, 10 to 11. I'm considering a rather large bet tomorrow if that's the price in the morning. Whether it is, we don't know. But like John says, also be cautious, because me and John got stung in the Voltiger. John, did you back the winner at Voltiger though?
Yeah,
you did, didn't you? But yeah. It was me that got stung. I'm sat there in the chair with my pate and we were sat in the middle and enjoying the day, and then I wasn't enjoying the day because he sent me sour because it drifted like a barge. And like John says, sometimes these drifts are a little bit worrying. I can't see it with this. I just can't. I think the market is because the punters are looking for something that maybe isn't there.
I didn't think we've got it in the bow, Clay.
That's it. Well, the thing is, it's very they've put it in at a short price to start with. They put it in at 4 to 6. The original price was 4 to 6, and Billy Bunters have gone, no, thank you. 4 to 6, it's just boring. 10 to 11 now is getting absolutely ridiculous. I think it thrashes them. I think that I love the stamina on the dam side as well. There's absolutely no issue with Trip. I couldn't give a monkeys on Trip. So yeah, I'm very confident Hurricane Lane will win the Ledger, and I'll bet him accordingly at 10 to 11. Nick Davis, we'll come to you.
I'm going to disagree with all of you.
Yeah,
right.
If
you look at the horses, Mojo Star and Hurricane Lane, if you looked at their dams and then looked at their running style, who do you think's got the most speed? It looks as if Hurricane Lane's got the 7 furlong mile dam and Mojo Star's got the 2 mile. Well, I think Hurricane Lane's got too much speed, because if you look at the Longchamp race, the first 3 throughout were the first, second, and fourth, and Alenquer came from the back to beat them, get third. And when you look at the race that was, it was run. The Derby was run at a pace where stamina came more into play, and Mojo Star beat it. I know there was the shoes issue. They said the front shoes. And
two front shoes, yeah.
but Mojo Star got struck into as well. All I'm saying is that if you look at them physically and the way they run, you would say Mojo Star was the stayer and Hurricane Lane was the speed horse. Now, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if Mojo Star will stay or not. He just looks, he shouldn't on his pedigree, but I remember years and years back when Entrepreneur won the Guinea, he said, how can they win that? He said, he must be a certainty for the Derby. He wasn't. And some horses take it. I think Hurricane Lane looks to me like a really good 1.5 horse. And I'm going to back Mojo Star to win. I don't think it's an each way proposition because it might not stay. The stud book might come out the 2 furlong mark and go boing, that's enough. But I think at the price, 13 to 2, 7, 15 to 2, back it win only and back it to come second to high definition just in case they fitted the cheek bases with nuts and hay. That is my take on the race.
Good stuff. We like this. We like a bit of, we haven't got 4 green lights here. We've got 3 green lights and West Ham 0, I think, on this one.
But Lee, can't you see my point about visually
thinking
Hurricane looks like a speed horse?
Yeah, I mean, the Hurricane's got enough gears, to win. Like you said, I mean, the fact that it's had enough gears to catch Lone Eagle on a track really that was suiting the front end. Lone Eagle in the Irish Derby had the absolute. He tried the Tory masterclass, tried to pinch the race, and it wasn't the stamina that won the race.
Oh no, that he quickened because they slowed mid-race St. Walter in the Irish Derby, didn't they? Mojo Star needs a clear run. I hope Ross O'Ryan gets him a little bit wider of the rest, comes in the straight, nice long straight, no interrupted run. And if he does stay, I think he'll run very, very well.
Good stuff. So Nick is against the Power Triangle from the north on Hurricane Lane. Nick is with Mojo Star. 8 to 1 win only. He likes the win only angle. That's in the St. Ledger. Right. We'll move on to Chester, the other ITV beating, before we go on to bits of Leopardstown on Saturday. And in the 2 o'clock race, it's the Tote Plus Stand Cup Stakes, a listed event over 1 mile and 4.5 furlongs. The Baron horse getting backed 9 to 4, joint favourite with Alanak of Andrew Baldings for this listed contest. John, I'll come to you first on this.
Well, with the exception of Potapova, who ran a blinder after being left half a furlong yesterday, the Baron's horses who run like they've got cholera. His older one.
It is true, yeah.
I could not back that. I mean, obviously it's been riddled with problems. It's 1 day shy of a year since it ran. It won this last year. And for me, the interesting one here is Happy Tim's Wells Fargo, that he's had multiply entered this week in handicaps ranging from 1.25 miles to 1.6 miles. He's instead chosen to come here in this listed race where he's wrong at the weights with a Lignac and a Lunac. Now, Tim's not a blithering idiot to be doing something like that. Wells Fargo showed me enough on debut this year to suggest that he retains more than enough ability, I think, to run to about 110. I'm not thrilled to see the man again on him, but, we'll make do with what we've got. He's got a reasonable draw. The horse goes well fresh. He won't mind the ground because he has had his issues. A bit of digging the ground won't hurt him at all. He won his 2-year-old races on good to soft. And I think he's a really nice value poker here at 11 to 1 plus.
Good shout. Yeah. 11 to 1 there for John. Wells Fargo. Obviously, a lot of back class here with Wells Fargo. If the Easterby Yards got him right, very interesting. This is a horse that won the Bahrain Trophy, if you remember, going back, and was obviously a very strong fancy for the Ledger that year, but obviously got injured. He ran fourth in the Voltager behind Old Persian. Some terrific back class here. So John likes this angle at 11-1. Good stuff. Chris, your view on the 2 o'clock at Chester?
Yeah, just leave Chester well alone is my tip for this week. That's my first. Oh, I hate it. If you ever go to bed, I go with Stouts. But that only because he's kept it in training, basically.
Yeah.
I'd rather leave it alone, though.
Right. So it's a leave out from Stocker there in the 2 o'clock at Chester. Nick, come to your views.
Yeah, I actually agree with John here.
Ooh,
I mean,
again?
yeah, I'd agree with John again on this. Well, obviously with the stable form. The other one, it had a old race. The E-Ball's not an easy race. It can take it out of thing, and it's got to come from behind here, which you can always have problems with. Throne Hall's a perennial bridesmaid, and yeah, you can do worse and have a few quid on Wells Fargo. I can't see the downside of the price at all.
No, it's fair comment, as John said, and the back class, etc. So Nick agreeing with John. I would say small on Alanak. Obviously, the rain that's fell. If you were saying Alanak on sort of good or quick ground, then Alanak would possibly struggle. But I think on this kind of ground, I think he's more or less certain to run to something like probably 110 his mark, which I think, given the lack of depth to the race, barring Wells Fargo, I do agree with you guys that's the sort of the fly in the ointment. But yeah, Alanak I thought would run to 110, which would probably be nearly enough to win. And 9-4 I thought was fair if you fancy a little bit of a fav there in the 2 o'clock at Chester. Right, we move on to the second ITV race there. It's a 2:35. It's the Marlin 6.5 furlong home serve handicap, and 5-2 favourite is Mancini for the Bad Doctor and David Probert in the saddle. Chris, I'm coming to you first. Are you leaving Chester again?
No, I did pick one out from this. It's a good price. It tends to run well this time of year, but it's a bit in and out. Hassanabad. It's well drawn as well, and it's a good price. But
I had some groans there. I had a massive groan.
All right. I'll change my mind then. Stick it on the favourite.
Yeah, he hates it. He hates it when you agree, Chris. He hates it. So Hassanabad for the Ginger Hitler at 10-1. John, I'll come to you for your choice.
Yeah, well, it's no mystery, is it? I wish I could have stuck one up on Thursday for this, because at least I wouldn't have missed my price, and I'd to agree on the night with the Hitler. But yeah, Hassanabad, I didn't think you were a great ride off Indian Jim last time, and it's got a lovely draw, nice sit in here, top quality jockey for the nature of the opposition today. I don't see much of a downside at 10-1.
We're getting some agreeing here from various points. I'm either agreeing with Hitler, you're agreeing with Ginger, you're agreeing with Nick. This is kind of quite a weird show. So Hassanabad for John as well as Chris. Nick, I'm guessing you might be something different.
Yeah, I mean, the trouble is this race could be. Will they run Mancini on soft ground? I'm not so sure. This race could be a right mess. There's 4 front runners. There's Nuesson George, Eau Claire, Mancini, and Hochfeld, who's drawn wide of all. It's very. How will they run?
Hochfeld has got the man of the moment on board, Johnny Pate, claiming 7.
I thought the most interesting runner with the thing was Mr. Curiosity. Whether it's just come up here to occupy his winner later on in the day, or he's come up here and he's got a chance. But he's got the most sort of upside probably. But it's not really a race to get involved in, because you don't know. I think a couple might come out, and you don't know how many. Will it be 4 front runners, 2 front runners? I don't know. But no, token selection on Mr. Curiosity. Nothing much there.
And this is amazing. I mean, this is like the old. I'll name that tune in one. This is the. I mean, Stocko and John have agreed with Hassanabad, and me and you are agreeing with Mr. Curiosity. This is quite stark. I mean, the thing for me with this horse is it was badly ridden last time. He didn't want holding up. It's not the type of horse to be held up, because the previous races at Bath, he lengthened lovely over the mile 3.5. It really did lengthen well in the closing stages under the curve. Then it was second to the 9-length winner at St. Cloud today, Manerba, back from evens to about 1-3. Well, I mean, Manerba, we've mentioned it on this show before. In terms of it could be as good as the Adair and Hurricane Lane. I don't think he's far behind. I mean, if you watch that listed race today, it's fairly bolted up by about nine wickets, I think. And obviously, poor old Curiosity Shops turned up and tried to run with that and got stuffed. But I mean, naturally got stuffed. But interesting that Kempton maiden Gulwar was 4th, and Gulwar's now rated 90. And Mr. Curiosity had the measure of him, and we're off 88. Only thing is Frank Spencer in the saddle, and I mean that's we don't want any negative.
There is a cutaway. There's a cutaway there, so you know where he's going to go.
Absolutely, I know. This is the thing. I mean, if you back this Mr. Curiosity tomorrow, it's one of those where you're praying that he doesn't drop this too far out, because it's not that kind of horse. It kind of just grinds away. That's what he does. He grinds. He can't quicken. So that's the one worry I've got, that Spencer, you might get Spencered. But anyway, that's I agree with Nick. Mr. Curiosity. To finish the ITV races off tomorrow, we've got Leopardstown, a strong card tomorrow. But before I come to that, Nick, have you got any? Has any of our panelists got any other business tomorrow that they fancy? Nick, yes. I'll come to you first.
1550 Chester, 6 furlong handicap. I hope it hasn't gone too soft. I hope it's soft, good to soft in places. Traps 1 and 2 and 3, I don't think can lead here. I think Major Jumbo and a bait go on, and I'm going for the 3-year-old, doubly entered this week, and he's taking this one. It is Pulse for Thought. Around about an 7-8 to 1 shot. Good record round here. Won a 3-year-old handicap. Then he went over 7 furlongs. Got involved a bit too much behind Master Zoffany. Led into the final furlong, and Master Zoffany picked him up. Comes back here. Kingscote back on. I'm hoping he can track a bait and Major Jumbo and pick them up. Also in the later race, see if there's any market moves to King Ottica. 10 furlongs around here might be absolutely ideal for him on the softer ground.
God, not King Ottica again. Jesus.
Did you see that? Did you see the heckling from the cheap seats?
Oh, it's bane of my life, that horse. I've heard his name so many times.
You're a sick man.
Yeah. He sat there on top row. You know the ones
he sat there on fan.
They give them away. They give them seats away, and he sat there. And you can hear this distant, not that again, I mean, they chuck them out for that, don't they, in theatres when they start doing things like that. Anyway.
Dave, isn't it?
Yeah.
John tipping King Ottica, but it's not John today. Well done, John.
So anyway, Nick has come up with 2 good selections there. 350 race at Chester. Am I right? No, is that 350?
Yeah, 350. No. Pulse for Thought.
Pulse for Thought. That's the one of Tom Dascombe's, drawn 5 with Richard Kingscote in the saddle. Obviously has got course and distance form, and Nick really likes that tomorrow. And then 425, before we got heckled, This is the thing you get heckled
Yeah, I
on
know.
King Oscar.
Apologies,
But
Nick.
Bloody Germans.
Bloody Germans, exactly. You see what they're like with sunbeds, everything else, and this is it. King Oscar for Nick in the 4:25 race around the 8-1 mark with Jamie Spencer. It could be a day of being Spencered. We don't know. But Nick likes that one. Any other business gentlemen on the normal cards? Hitler, you got anything?
No, definitely not.
No, nothing. John?
Massively on King of the Car.
Not getting involved.
No. I think John's put off there by Chris. There we go. So that's a TV card's done. So right, so we go on to obviously we're covering the entire weekend of massive action. Anything at Leopardstown tomorrow that we've seen? Do you want me to do race by race, or is there anything that
Are you doing
guys?
that tomorrow?
Yeah, obviously we've got the matron, the big race, the Irish champion. We've got there's some great races. Where would you like me to start? Anybody want to lead me in?
Well,
There's nothing for me. All I said was on Sunday. I think Winter Power is a York specialist. I think if you get a little bit of rain there, I think she may be vulnerable on Sunday.
Okay, we'll come on to that in a minute, Nick, because obviously I've got some Sunday thoughts. I'll tell you what we'll do then, right? I'm just looking at the races now on tomorrow. I'm a Corviglia fan in the first. I think she's a very good filly. 2-1 favourite, good blogger price for everyone tomorrow. I think Lullaby might go backwards from debut in that because she was ran in a Group 3 on debut, and I don't agree with that. I think what is all that about? Why are you running a Group 3 on debut? It's terrible planning. I think she didn't finish her race off. She got tired. I don't kind of like that. So Corviglia, I'd be all over in the first. The champion juvenile, I have no opinion. We then go to the matron, which I thought was a really tricky race. Mother Earth was 6-4 favourite. It's one of those, at some point, all this lot in this race have all beat each other. Mother Earth has got beaten before by horses in here. Mother Earth's in good form, but 6-4, maybe no value. And then we come on to the big race of Leopardstown tomorrow, and I think this should be a talking point for us 4 bar stewards. What are we saying on the champion stakes? Nick, I'm coming to you first on the champion.
Champion stakes.
Yeah. Mark's Basilica, Tanawa, Poetic Flair.
Yeah. Not much of it. I mean, it's a washing. The only thing is if the Bulgar one can stay 10 furlongs, it makes it interesting. But I think St Mark's is probably the ideal horse for this, and I'll just watch it and learn.
I mean, it's that kind of race that is quite tactical. Chris, have you any opinion on the champion stakes?
Yeah, I have. Yeah. Well, I'm not. My own opinion is that Tanawa is possibly the best horse in training, and I'm not sure whether this trip is ideal. And St Mark's Basilica's done nothing wrong. It's a great horse, don't get me wrong, but I think Tanawa is just a little bit special, and I think she'll win the Arc with a bit of cut in the ground. But that is my opinion, and the bet tomorrow for me is that one with the Peyton with Hurricane Lane and the thing of Gosden's. They're the bets. Reach
for the moon.
Yeah, I love Tanawa. I think she just does enough every time. She's got a hell of a turn of foot. Unbelievable. Love the horse.
So Stocker is looking for a bet bull contract with the blogger, right? Yeah. They could be hand in hand down the streets of Dubrovnik. Right, with it, yeah, a Mucky Peyton, right, in Dubrovnik.
He's having a Monkey Peyton.
A Monkey Peyton. I mean, this is it. I mean, we just need Stallion there with his cash out and whatever else he's doing. We could see Hitler with Blogger and the Stallion walking down
He'd
the
fit in
Bronx.
a treat, wouldn't he?
Yeah, for Betbull.
Funny
So
walk and the cocktail
Betbull. If Betbull are listening here, we've literally got, I mean, he is the ultimate bastard, and basically he will, yeah, he's your perfect marketing tool.
Can see the posters now. Bet Bull Bastard. And he's there holding a couple of tickets up.
3 Bs.
Yeah. So there we go. So we've got the Ginger Hitler's big patent tomorrow. Big massive patent. Tanawa, Hurricane Lane, and what's the other? The Reach for the Moon, the Gosden Horse. Yeah. Of Greedy Betty's in the Champagne. So could it be big for Ginger tomorrow? We don't know. But I mean, my view on the champion is that I think it's going to play into the hand of St Mark's Basilica for the turn of foot, because the sectionals showed it in the Eclipse that this can quicken off slow paces, and I just feel it could be a bit of a show for St Mark's in the Irish Champion. I think Poetic Flair is underrated, but the problem is, they'll bomb off. I think it'll do too much in the hands of Kevin Manning. It pulls quite hard at a mile, as you've seen, and I just think Poetic Flair will be fodder for Tanawa, and St Mark's turning in, and I think St Mark's will have the turn of foot, the best turn of foot at 10 furlongs. Anyway, I agree with Stocks that Tanawa would be better over a mile and a half, and I think St Mark's has the measure over 10. John, your thoughts on this?
I think Nasty Jim won't give a monkeys about the Champion Stakes because he'll win the race before it with Max Swinney.
That's Jim's big bet.
Yeah, that's the one I'm interested in Ireland tomorrow. I think the ground's coming right. I think it's very interesting. He's dropping it back to a mile. I think you'll probably get a solo, and I can't really see any of these dealing with him off a solo. I think it's a very good bet at 92.
Max Swiney for John then on the Saturday at 9-2. So basically, we've had Stocko's patent. We've had John's really good bet in Ireland for tomorrow. I'm a St Mark's fan. Dick Davis is sitting this one out, I think. We'll go on to the Sunday then. Has anyone looked on the Sunday for the Arc Trials and the Irish on the Sunday?
Look at the lot, actually.
Yeah. Right. Okay. I'll start us off, and then if no one's got any opinion, that's fine. I've done the works. So we'll go 2:20 at Curragh tomorrow. It's the Sunday. It's the Blandford Stakes, a Group 2 affair, and I've got a real big bet for me in this. La Petite Coco, currently about 4-1. I think that's absolutely ginormous, and I'll tell you why. Love is not running to anything like the form she was, or last year. If you look on the Racing Post ratings, it's laughable. She's not in any kind of form. I think she's a 115 mare at the moment, is Love, and I believe La Petite Coco is on a massive upward curve. Physically, I like her. She's improving throughout the season. She keeps improving. She's a very impressive filly. The trainer's not had this that long, and I think there's fireworks to come from La Petite Coco. Very impressive last time. I think a filly in form against basically a filly that last year was carrying all before her. Let's be right. This year, nothing. So anything in the Blandford that anyone looked at?
Unfortunately, I found myself just agreeing with yourself. Really, I agree entirely on Love. La Petite Coco does look to be a filly going places. And the only other observation I would make is that Cayenne Pepper seems to be sadly no longer with us.
Well, that's it. They've even have to go for the pieces. I mean, they're perplexed. I mean, Cayenne Pepper, I believe, won this last year. I think, from memory, I think she did. Yeah, she did. Yeah. She Cayenne Pepper won this last year. Now she's 8-1. and they've gone for the pieces for the first time. Thundering Knights, I think, won a bad Group 1 here, beating Santa Barbara on the 27th of June, gets the Group 1 penalty. And I thought this was great placing, by a shrewd stable. Team Valor's bought this horse, and I think how is this 4-1? It's incredible. Yeah, I mean, Love is not running to anything like last season's form, or I think she's about 115 as she stands. So she's got a penalty, which means La Petite Coco's got to run to 113 to basically run level with her. Well, I think she is running to about 113 on the last run because it was effortless.
Yeah.
So how that's 4-1, I don't know. That'd be my call on that. We go to the Flying 5, and I know Nick's got an opinion here on the Flying 5, Nick, the 255.
Yeah, I just think, Winter Power is. I think she's a York specialist. You've seen her a couple of times out there. I think she just really loves the place. They may get a bit of rain as well. And I think, what price is she?
Winter Power is currently 9-4 favourite.
Yeah, I think she might be one to oppose here. Yeah. I can see her, blasting off, and then the Curragh just a little bit takes a little bit more getting, and I think especially if they get a bit of rain, she can be caught there. She can be opposed. I'm not sure what with yet, but I'll have a look, better look when I really know the ground. But I think she's opposable.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Winter Power's form has come at York. I mean, her peak form has come at York. That's undeniable. Very impressive on all starts there. But like you said, I agree with you. I think I'm looking to oppose her the same. I do like the Irish filly Moonista. I think she's got some great course form here, and I thought she would be quite attractive at 11-1 in this.
Mind you, there's been a good system. If you back English sprinters in Ireland and Irish stayers in England over the last 10 years, you'd have been doing pretty well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I agree with you though. I just think maybe not quite as effective here, but we'll see. And the gate jockey on board, D'Souza, the big black cross, John.
This race, I think Glass Slippers wants looking at here. They've kept this in training, and when you've got a filly like this that's won a Breeders' Cup sprint, you send it to a decent stallion, and you're looking to get on the gravy train, aren't you?
Yeah.
They've kept it in training, probably cost themselves £500,000 for doing it. I think that they need to be winning this and maybe another Breeders' Cup. So I think this course winner is well worth a second glance against the
It's a similar prep to she won it last year.
Yeah.
And en route to the Abbey win. So they clearly, lining this is how they get a fit, how they get. Obviously, it's a plan because they've used the same prep. Trainers, creatures of habit. So Glass Slippers, like you said, very interesting. And like we said, Nick against Winter Power, kind of get that. But then we move on. 3:30, the Moyglare Stud Group 1. I'll start you off, folks. Agartha has absolutely thrived over this course and distance. I mean, the last time, I just literally bounded out and blasted clear. I don't really see anything to turn around the form with Agartha. They have her as favourite, 100-30. Sunset Shiraz made ground from off the pace last time, but again, I think that could be the same again. Agartha, I think, will lead them up and probably go close to making all again. Any of you in the Moyglare?
You think
not yet.
2-year-old situation in Ireland is almost as bad as it is in England.
Yeah. So that's what I thought there. Then we've gone to the 405, the National Stakes. Obviously, Point Lonsdale, as the Hitler has already pointed out, is the best probably 2-year-old in training. And can we disagree with this? Heavily backed into 4-7 favourite. Can we disagree with Point Lonsdale as being the best 2-year-old in training, John?
Racing Post Ratings seem to think he's not. They've got Ebro River top, believe it or not. I think that's absolutely ridiculous myself.
Yeah.
I can't have this beat.
No, it's the same Point Lonsdale reach for the moon form. Nick, Chris, any views on this?
Not really, I think, yeah.
Stocker, are you not sticking this in a 6-4-1 instead of a Peyton?
I'm just happy with my Peyton, thank you very much.
See, that's told us. You see how you get told? We're told this is it. So yeah, so the Peyton is running the show. The Hitler Peyton. This is the selling point of the Bastard show. Right, we'll move swiftly on then. Has anyone looked at the Longchamp races on Sunday?
What about the Irish Ledger, by the way? You never mentioned the Irish
Oh,
Ledger.
yes, sorry. Absolutely. Sorry, yes, we'll come back to that. Sorry. Yes, you've pulled me up on that, haven't you? You bastard. Right, so Twilight Payment, 7-2 favourite. Absolutely, I forgot about this race. Terrible. Forget the Irish St. Ledger. Baron Samdi, Live and Let Die. Who could not forget Baron Samdi and Live and Let Die? It's a beautiful day. Yes.
Really well.
Baron Samdi for me, that's my choice in the Irish Ledger. I managed to get, by the way, Stocko, if ever you think your luck's bad, I managed to have the lot on this at Tremor of 65 in a handicap and got it beat. So you should never moan. You should never moan. You know, and Baron Samdi and Live and Let Die. I mean, what a character. You know, used to pop out of the ground. James Bond shot his head off, didn't he? I mean, it's terrible. But I mean, yeah. Baron Samdi tomorrow at 5-1. I thought it was good. Nick, any views in the Irish St. Ledger?
No.
No, absolutely, exactly. This is how it is.
I've got one.
Okay, go on.
Search for a Song. That's it. It's its strip. It'll get a bit of cut in the ground. It's its time of year. Search for a Song is a real good bet tomorrow, I think, as well.
You think this mare comes alive at this time of year?
It does. I think it's 2 runs this year. First time out, it was over a bit of a shorter trip. It likes a bit of cut in the ground, and it likes this time of year. Yeah. And did it win the race last year? Did it win the? Yeah.
It's won the last 2. It's won the last 2 Irish Ledgers.
There you go.
So this could be a Ginge Sabbath bet. This could be the one where, you basically bin the missus off for half an hour and you say, this is my time. I'm watching this race and I'm hammering Search for a Song to win the Irish Ledger.
Did it beat Order of St. George the first time it won it? Was it something like that? It beat a real good horse of O'Brien's. I know that.
Well, last year it beat Fajera Prince. And the year before, it beat Kew Gardens.
Kew Gardens, that's what I was thinking of,
yeah. So well, there we go. So we've had it again. So, some good bets from Ginge this weekend. Search for a Song. He's picked a dual Irish Ledger winner, to follow up, to make it a hat trick. Search for a Song for the Ginge. John, anything in the Irish Ledger?
Yes, I'm going to give you a genuine 25-1 poke that is actually 200-1. And that is Seattle Creek of Luke Comers.
Wow.
I can't honestly say this is going to go and win the Irish Ledger tomorrow, but I think this is very much a horse to keep an eye on. He was a massive eye catcher on debut behind the Mediterranean. He was beaten 5.5 lengths. Walked out the gate. He was greener than that fellow on the Collantins during the race. It was only when the penny really dropped where he started to run properly. He's by hard hand out of the saddle as well as mare. It's sure to improve for the trip. I think he's definitely a 100 with scope to improve beyond that.
Impressive. I mean, 200 to 1. I mean, we could be talking. We need some place markets on this. I mean, John's there. Yeah, the Jolly Green Giant. Seattle Creek for John. Chris Hayes and Luke Comer, 200 to 1. Stocker, what are you saying to that? That's no blogger price.
I'll be honest, if that gets placed, I'll be in a coma.
See, John, this is it, John. He's cheering this to get beat.
Oh, gosh, yeah. He's desperate for the 200 to 1 shot to run like a 66 to 1 shot and finish 5th. That'll be him cracking one up of that, mate.
He's just an awful man. I mean, you know, yeah, it is. This is what we have to put up with. Anyone look at the Arc Trial Sunday?
Yeah.
Not here, no.
Not here. Stocker? No. Okay, me and John will go through the 3 Arc Trials. The 133 at Longchamp on Sunday is the Pre-Niel. Nashwan got beat in this. Nashwan, the great Nashwan, was beating this at long odds. Media Stream, Andre Farb, I think heads the betting. I could be right. No, it does. That's 33 to 1. What about heads the bet? 5 to 4, Bolshoi Ballet, of course, for Luigi. Luigi riding for Aiden again. 5 to 4, wrist. John, any opinion on the Pre-Niel?
Just I don't really want Bolshoi Ballet to win. He just doesn't float me, but I'm struggling to find one to beat him, to be honest. I think these are a bloody plain lot. You know, I'd be astonished if the Arc winner was in this. Yeah,
it's a real bad Neil.
I told you this one already. Tanawa wins the Arc, mate. We know this.
You've heard it again. You've heard it here first on Bar Stewards. Hitler says Tanawa wins the Arc.
You've Superman. Got Hitler's confidence, haven't you? But he was just as confident when he went into Russia.
Brilliant. Right, so we move on to the one of the best Arc Trials, the Prix Vermeer. But having said that, Snowfalls decided to turn up and be 7 to 2 on, John.
I mean, I'm so off this filly, and it's not her fault. But all this hype about another Enable and all this, I mean, Enable was hyped to hell anyway, and now we're starting with this thing. You know, I mean, you'd struggle to see a bait, but Jesus Christ, I'd love to see a bait.
I know what you mean.
Just people up.
Yeah, she's not going to win an Arc, no chance. But
Tiona looked very talented at wins the last time. They seem to have sorted the problems out. Maybe she can improve. But again, they don't look an inspiring bunch, do they?
No, a small bet for Tiona for me, because if she settles, and they got her to settle at Windsor last time, I think she could be a 120 filly, and this is like 12 to 1. I think that's value for Tiona in the Prix Vermeer. I was really impressed with her at Windsor. She improved. Just one note for me in the final Arc Trial, which is the Prix Foy. Deep Bond, the Japan horse, I thought was overpriced at 100 to 30 with Bet 365. I don't think Scaletti will stay. It's not in the pedigree that horse will stay, and he's up to that 6 to 4 favourite. I'm not impressed at all. I thought Deep Bond, the Japanese horse, put it this way, I handicapped it on Broome. I'm thinking if Broome goes over to Japan, does that beat Deep Bond? No, it doesn't. Broome's 4 to 1. Deep Bond's 100 to 30. I think Deep Bond will go very well for the Japs in the pre-fight to get them all excited for Arc Day on the turf when they make it 6 to 4 favourite. You know, picture away they go. You know, I think that could genuinely happen. Deep Bond could be the Japanese spectacle for the Arc, and I think that can win the pre-fight. John?
Yeah, unfortunately, I find myself just pretty much agreeing with that. I'll also be risking a spell in Tenko if Deep Bond gets paid.
We used to love Tenko. What a great show. Sunday nights. Everyone's sweating the bollocks off. You know, I mean, pretty much like London flats these days, isn't it, in summer? But there we go. So we all enjoyed Tenko. I hope you've enjoyed this show because Nick Davis has provided some valuable input. The Ginger Hitlers provided some input. John, as always, and myself, we've pretty much we've got your backs. We're back on Sunday with the Sunday Sermon. Me, John, Chris, usual time, Sunday evening, something for you to mull over when there's nothing on the telly. We hope you've enjoyed this weekend show, and we hope you back some winners tomorrow and over the course of the weekend.
Cheers, lads.
Cheers,
absolutely. Love you. Thanks. Good night, chaps. That's all from us. Bye.